Howdy, I am back in Melbourne where I'm allowed to film in public again, yay. And in today's video, I want to talk about meltdowns and how they can ramp up your life. Now, I'm pretty open about my mental health. I'm doing great like 95% of the time, but the 5% of the time that I go down, I usually go down pretty hard. I can crash and burn. Usually I have a pretty big meltdown like once a month. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I actually wouldn't change that, why I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, I don't want this video to be like another turn your frown upside down video or look for silver lining, because I'm not talking about a rough day. I'm not talking about, general fatigue and general frustration that kind of everyone goes through. I'm talking about complete existential meltdown, where when you're in the middle of it, nothing really makes sense. Like, it can even be difficult to get out of bed. And during this time, you question everything. You question what you're doing with your life. You question why you're doing that. You get filled with dread, fear, anger, and then very often you pop out on the other side and you're not even really sure what happened. You're like, what the fuck was that? Who the fuck was that? So meltdowns happen because of different things with different people. Like, everyone has different triggers. They can be financial triggers, health issues, drug issues. Come downs absolutely can trigger a meltdown. Sometimes you don't even know. It's just like a compounding effect of things building up and you snap. So I think it's really interesting to stop and think about what your triggers could be, like what your most vulnerable areas can be. Like, knowing this won't stop them happening, but it can be fun to analyze. So there are two reasons that I love meltdowns. The first is just that they make you appreciate life so much more. Like, when you go through that really dark place and you pop out on the other side, it can feel like you're waking up from a nightmare. Like, even simple things like sunshine, walking on grass, these things can feel super, super nice. It's like having come out of a really bad trip. You're like, you've endured it. You're like, oh my God, sobriety, life is lovely. The second reason is how they can and will grow you. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So some quick tips to help you endure a meltdown. Again, I'm not talking prevention, because I honestly don't think you want that. Enduring them, though, that's a different story. And as always, I have to say, this is just my opinion. This is a very sensitive topic. This does not replace professional therapy. Of course, if you need it, go get it. One, just let yourself crash and burn. I think the worst thing that you can do mid-meltdown is fight it or run away from it or try and prevent it from happening. Look, I say just let it consume you. Sometimes you need to crash and burn entirely before you can start coming back up again. Sometimes that meltdown is to just clear some shit out of your life. It's like backburning, you're clearing out a bunch of shit in your mind, a bunch of shit in your life. And that's why I think an occasional meltdown, it's great. It's like spring cleaning. So I think that acceptance is key here. Like, the more that you run from it, the more terrified you are of it, the more power it has over you. So just surrender. Like, let that shit cloud just wash over you and get depressed, let yourself sink. It kind of reminds me of like the Fight Club quote, only when you've lost everything you're free to do anything. Like, this is how you get stronger. This is how you develop personality and character, by going through some shit. I can tell you easily the best clients to work with are the ones that have gone through some shit. It gives you depth, it gives you honesty, and it also gives you a unique view on life. Find the benefits in it. So this is my favorite thing about meltdowns. Evaluate what needs to be changed in your life, what is causing this mental drama. Like, visualize the result that you want and see what changes you can make in order to get on that path. Like, a good meltdown essentially forces you to deal with some problems that perhaps you've been putting off. Now, this can be very hard if you've not seen the fruits of a meltdown before. Like, personally, I know that every big thing that I've done, every accomplishment, every big decision that I've made in my life has come post-meltdown. So now when they're happening in the back of my head, it's much easier to accept, because I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel before. Like, I know what's coming. But if you've never experienced that, the meltdown can seem pointless, So I never try to make too much sense of the meltdown, mid-meltdown, because as Steve Jobs said, like, you can only make sense of the dots looking backwards. They never make sense looking forward. 3, be as social as you want or not. Now, this is going to split the audience. I know that when I'm mid-meltdown, everything goes off. Facebook goes off. Instagram goes off. Sometimes my phone entirely goes off. I don't respond to messages. I kind of just go AWOL for a while. I don't go out unless it's to, grab a drink or something. I just completely let myself sink into isolation. And for me and for many others, that is really important. So be selfish, decline invitations, don't reply to messages. If isolation is healing you, then you're not obliged to, cater to other people. Now, for other people, socializing might be key here. Like, just being around people is going to help, because it's going to have some changes on your brain biologically. Some people need that. So again, be selfish. Ask people to go out, send some needy text messages, do whatever you have to do. And if you don't have anyone to turn to in this time, and that's what you want, I would say that is a contributing factor to your meltdown. So it's probably time to address that. 4, get physical. The last thing that you're gonna wanna do when you're mid-meltdown is go for a run or hit the gym. But if you wanna get out of it, exercise is the fastest way. So, before you fucking neck yourself, go for a run. There are other physical factors too, like sleep. Sleep is key here. Get some blue blocking glasses, cut out caffeine if you can. I'm unable to, but it's good advice all the same. Get some melatonin, take a day off work, do whatever you have to do to get more sleep in. Diet, I'm not gonna fucking tell you to eat healthy, because you're mid-meltdown, you probably just wanna smash beers and eat ice cream, so fucking go for it. But I'm talking, I guess, overall. Like, if you're following a really strict diet, for instance, and you're having regular meltdowns, well, this could be a contributor to that. I've seen before vegans who have just come alive once they get some red meat and bioavailable nutrients into them. I've seen, low-carb keto people come alive by just fucking having some orange juice. Sometimes also you're just not eating enough. Lastly, meditation is massive here, but I've gone into that in so many of my videos, so you can go through them. I'm not going to go through that again. So I really can't express in this video how beneficial meltdowns can be. Again, you never see that when you're in the middle of it. You can only see it looking back once you've put the pieces back together. That is, of course, if you've taken some action, if you've taken some responsibility, and you've kind of used the meltdown to project you forward. Again, they backburn so much of the shit that builds up in your mind and in your life. They make you appreciate life so much more. They make you analyze what's going on, where you're at, where you want to be, how far you are away from that, and what you have to do perhaps to get to that next level. And I personally find the most interesting and successful people that I meet all are battling or have battled some form of mental illness. Like, that's what drives them. I have no doubt in my mind. So learn to love your mental instability. Build a good relationship with it. So when it does come, you welcome it, you embrace it. Even though it can be a total bitch to when it arrives at your door, remind yourself, normal people don't really accomplish much. The fucking crazy ones do. Again, lastly, I have to address, if you need some medical help, there are some links, mental health, or medical, whatever fucking help you need, there are some links below. Keep your chin up if you are going through this, and I hope you have an awesome day. Cheers.